I fell in love with Acheron the moment I first saw her grace the screen in Honkai Star Rail, so I've been super excited for her to come out. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing everything you need to know about Acheron, like when she's coming and how to prepare for her. What kind of stuff should you be grinding for so you're ready when she finally comes out in Honkai Star Rail, so you can have her going full speed ahead right as she releases. So starting off, when is Acheron coming? Acheron will be showing up when Sparkle leaves, so in 15 days and 23 hours. If you want to count down at any point before she arrives, just log on to your game and see when Sparkle is leaving, and then you will know, hey, that's when Acheron is coming. We have a built-in countdown timer. It's beautiful. Now, obviously, we have zero idea what Acheron's kit looks like. No one knows at all, because she hasn't come out yet, so we could never know what she's likely to do, but we can make some good guesses as to what she's likely gonna do, and therefore what equipment, relics, all that good stuff you should be grinding for her, assuming these things, because we don't know, obviously, what Acheron's gonna do. So going off of what we've seen of Acheron so far, we can take a guess, an assumption, that she will be a Nihility type character, but I doubt she'll be DOT and replace beautiful Mommy Kafka. They would never do that to us. So she'll probably be a crit-based Nihility character, DPS type, like how, you know, Jing Lu is that kind of activity. But she is Nihility, so there will be some sort of debuff involved in that kind of fun and game. So going off of that, let's talk about what kind of characters you will probably be running with her, and then you can get ready to build them up if you don't already have them built up. One of these characters is the beautiful Black Swan. Now, if you don't remember, Black Swan has some nice abilities where she can increase the amount of damage that the opponent takes when using her ultimate, as well as in her skill, she has the ability to reduce the defense of the enemy target, which is a debuff and would work great, assuming that Acheron wants someone that debuffs with her. I mean, reducing defense works with everybody, so it's not even like that's, you know, too big of a thing to think that would work well with Acheron. Everyone likes when the opponent is just weaker and takes more damage. So Black Swan would be a beautiful choice if you have her in your character collection. A great support option would be Bronya, or the brand new girl that is in the store, everyone's favorite, Sparkle. So if you were thinking about summoning on Sparkle and you have the resources to get both Sparkle and Acheron, then go ahead and summon for Sparkle. But if you don't, and you just happen to have Bronya instead, don't worry, Bronya is also another fantastic choice to support and run with Acheron. Another great Nihility option is, of course, Silverwolf. If you do not remember, Silverwolf has the ability to reduce the defense of the opposing character as well. Also can reduce attack or speed. Silverwolf, fantastic option to run alongside her, as she can also reduce defense with Black Swan, and they're both Nihility characters, which maybe will be important with Acheron. Maybe it won't be, I don't know. We have no idea, once again, but I think Silverwolf would be another great option if you have Silverwolf. A more friendly 4-star option is, of course, Pella, who also reduces defense. I'm sure most everyone has used Pella at some point. If you have not, Pella is a fantastic option on many teams because of her ability to reduce defense with her ultimate. So that's another option if you're looking for like a more 4-star, free-to-play friendly option. Maybe you're missing some of those 5 stars. Pella's there. And then one great preservation option is Fu Xuan. She is a fantastic option as she helps boost the crit rate of the team, which is something that I think a crit-based character DPS is going to like. So, assuming Acheron, again, is going to be that, Fu Xuan is a fantastic option as well for a preservation to keep the team alive. So I'd say focus on those characters, building them up if you haven't already done so. Aventurine may work, but he's not out, so you can't really build him up, and he'll be coming out after Acheron anyway, so doesn't really matter if he is or is not going to be helpful with Acheron. Again, we couldn't know, and so regardless, you can't build them up. So these characters are out now. You can work on them. If you have them, go for it, get them good and ready to go. Now, with characters out of the way, let's talk about what is likely going to be a relic you want to run on your Acheron. Now, normally in these games, when they bring out some new type of relic, it's because they're tied to the characters that are coming out around the time that they release these relics. So looking at the 2 relics, this isn't really like a crit-based thing, the Watchmaker Master of Dreams. So this one, though, Pioneer Diver of Dead Waters, is related to crit rate. So when we look at the 2-piece here, increases damage dealt to enemies with debuff. So again, if you're running her with Black Swan or a Silver Wolf, something like that, someone that gives them that debuff, you can increase the damage dealt to enemies here, which would be very nice for Acheron. And then the 4-piece, increase the crit rate by 4%, The wearer deals 8%/12% increased crit damage to enemies with at least 2 to 3 debuffs. After the wearer inflicts a debuff on enemy targets, the aforementioned effects increase by 100%, lasting for 1 turn. So, you want to get a 4-piece of this, a 4-piece chicken selects meal. And on those pieces, I've been kind of grinding them out myself, just trying to get ready, since I think that's probably what's going to be the best option for Miss Acheron. And I would recommend you get on grinding this relic as well. If you haven't unlocked it, it's in the Reverie and the Dreamscape. Just continue to play through the story, and you will get to the area where you can play this if you have not gotten there. In terms of what you want on your pieces, for chest piece, you're probably going to want a crit damage or crit rate roll as the main stat. And then the substats, you're looking for something like crit rate, crit damage, attack, or speed. That's really what you're looking for, like, on kind of all these pieces. On the boots, you're either looking for a speed or attack. It wouldn't hurt to get, like, both that you'd be interested in. And then, obviously, you want to try and get good substats, which is, you know, always the hard part, and which is why I recommend you start grinding now, trying to do some of these daily, get some equips or relics every single day. So, you know, if you get unlucky, you're not stuck with, like, bad ones. You hopefully have some better options by doing it more. On both the hands and the head, as you should know by now, you can only get attack on the hands for the main stat. You can only get HP on the main slot for the head. So then, of course, the substats are the same as I mentioned. Crit rate, crit damage, speed, and attack. Those are mainly what you're looking for Acheron. Again, assuming she's a crit damage, crit rate type character. We don't know. We don't know. I'm just going off of assumptions based on characters we've gotten recently and how these games work with, like, new relics coming out, kind of being tied to new characters. So, again, we don't know, but I'm guessing. But let's move on to the ornament set, which right now, the best one that you could get for her would be the Inert Salsado. Increases the wearer's crit rate by 8%. When the wearer's current crit rate reaches 50% or higher, the wearer's ultimate follow-up damage increases by 15%. But I would assume that we'll probably be getting a new simulated universe world, if I just had to take a guess, probably around when Acheron comes out. And just like how with the relics, when they release like a new relic, it's normally tied to the characters coming out around that time. I would guess that we'll probably get a new ornament that will be even better for Acheron if it comes out around that time that Acheron does, which I think would be better to just grind that when that comes out. But if you want to grind Inert Salsado, you could have that ready to go and then use that until they potentially bring out the new simulated universe world, would be World 9, and we get a new set of ornaments for her. Just guessing that's going to happen, though. We don't know. Again, we don't know anything about Acheron. Nothing at all. So, but if that does happen, I would think likely it's going to be for Acheron and the new characters around that time. In terms of Lightcone, obviously the best Lightcone is going to be the Lightcone that comes out with Acheron, her personal Lightcone, just how it is for about everyone that comes out. You most of the time want to use their Lightcone that comes out with them. It's made for them to make them better at what they do best. So Acheron's best Lightcone will be the Lightcone that comes out with Acheron. So I would try and be able to get both Acheron and her Lightcone if you have the resources to do it. Make sure you're saving up your Stellar Jade if you really want Acheron. As for some other Lightcones, assuming she is Nihility, you're going to have to use a Nihility Lightcone. This one here, the Good Night and Sleep Well. For every debuff the target enemy has, the damage dealt by the wearer increases by 18%, stacking up to 3 times. That could be useful as if you're running Black Swan or Silver Wolf or whoever who's debuffing the enemy with Acheron, then you'll be able to do more damage, which is the goal of Acheron as the DPS, do damage. So this is like a 4-star kind of more free-to-play friendly option than trying to get Acheron's Lightcone herself. Another option, if you have been saving up your Undying Starlight and have enough to purchase one of the Lightcones, and you don't already have welts for Nihility, then you could go for that. Increases the wearer's damage to debuff enemies by 24%. When the wearer uses a skill, the effect hit rate for the attack increases by 18% and increases by 24%. Again, that's if you've been saving up your Undying Starlight, or you just happen to have pulled it already, then you can use welts. But you should probably try and aim to get Acheron's if you want to have Acheron at her very best. As for Eidolons, I mean, you normally want to aim for E2, but like, if you don't got that kind of cash on you, or you haven't been saving up for forever and just have boatloads of Stellar Jade, then obviously, you know, E0 is fine. Obviously, the more Eidolons you get, the better. So there's not much to really talk about there. As long as you get Acheron, you can use Acheron. So that's the main goal. Obviously, if you have the resources to try and go for more Acherons, I would try and go for more Acherons after getting her light cone as well, too. Get the light cone, get Acheron, get the light cone, and then we can start making our move here for more Acherons. I think the light cone will be more important than getting her to, like, E2. So, yeah. That is going to do it, though, for our what you should be doing for Acheron based off of assumptions and guesses. I want to make sure I drive home the point, though, that these are all guesses and assumptions, and I have no idea what Acheron's kit may look like. But I hope this helps you out. Hopes you get ready to prepare for Acheron. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe, leave a like. We'll be bringing more Honkai Star Rail stuff. I know my channel is mainly Dragon Ball Legends. If you're just finding it for the first time, there will be more Honkai Star Rail stuff on the way. And yeah, hope y'all are staying happy and healthy, having the best days. I'll catch y'all tomorrow.